everybody, my name is Emma Pniewski and welcome to Mod Podge Craft Camp. I'm going to teach you 5 super fun techniques that you can use with Mod Podge. I'm going to be using our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit, which comes with 22 bold, bright colors of 2-ounce Apple Barrel acrylic paint, a 10-piece artist variety brush set, and a 2-ounce bottle of Mod Podge mat. We're going to be using quite a bit of Mod Podge in this series, so feel free to pick up one of our larger sizes of Mod Podge mat to help you in your crafting. Up first, we're going to be making 3D paint, a super cool technique to get a really neat looking 3-dimensional effect on a variety of different projects. To make our 3D paint, we're going to want to have a 1-to-1 ratio of Mod Podge mat and shaving cream. First, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of Mod Podge mat into this paper bowl. Before we add our shaving cream into our Mod Podge mat, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of Apple Barrel Lime Tree into our Mod Podge mat and mix it until it's well incorporated. So I'm going to put some of this shaving cream into this bowl so that when I add it into my measuring spoon, I get a really precise measurement. If I were to just put it in here, it would overflow. Okay, so now we're gonna fold our shaving cream into our Mod Podge and Apple Barrel mixture. If you don't know what folding means, it means that we're just going to kind of rotate the shaving cream and the Mod Podge. Really, all we're trying to do is keep that air from our shaving cream into our 3D paint mixture. So now I'm gonna take a squeeze bottle and we're going to fill it with our 3D paint mixture. Once you have all of your colors that you want to doodle with, I'm just using some heavyweight white paper as my surface. Once my paint is nice and dry, it should take about 30 minutes, you can cut out all your shapes and incorporate them into projects. So I'm just drawing some very basic shapes with my 3D paint. This craft is really great for, as you can see, celebrations, paper crafting, so many different things. I hope you guys have fun with this technique. For our next technique, I'm going to show you guys how to make these rock salt geodes using Mod Podge, rock salt, a little bit of glitter, and I painted all of our geodes with our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit. Okay, for this craft, you're going to want to have rock salt, Mod Podge, and some loose, fine glitter. You're going to want to have a 2-to-1 ratio of Mod Podge to glitter, but we're just going to eyeball it because the ratio is not as finicky as some of our other Mod Podge techniques. First, we're going to combine our Mod Podge and our glitter and mix until they're really well combined. So now I like to add some rock salt to our mixture until there's no more loose Mod Podge. So just continually keep adding that rock salt until you can't see any more loose Mod Podge at the bottom. So you see how you can still see a little bit of that Mod Podge at the bottom? And notice how our rock salt is really clumping together. We can afford to add a little bit more rock salt to get more bang for our buck. So I already went ahead and painted this geode. It's nice and dry. I used new shamrock, spring green, and white from our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit. Apply your Mod Podge to your project so that you can carefully position it where you want it to be. Now we're going to let our rock salt mixture dry, and when it does, it'll look like this. To get these thin glittery lines, all I did was I used a tiny flat brush, I painted them out with my Mod Podge mat, and then before my Mod Podge mat dried, I sprinkled some loose glitter onto the Mod Podge, shook it off, and then we get this really beautiful finished project. There are a ton of different uses for your Mod Podge geodes, whether embellishing a sweet little rainbow like this or making your finished geode projects come to life. Next up, we're going to be making slime with Mod Podge Matte, Borax, our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit, and for this project, we're going to be using quite a bit of Mod Podge Matte, so I'm going to be using some bigger sized bottles like these. So to get started, we are going to pour a half cup of Mod Podge Matte into a paper bowl. Next, we're going to squeeze a little bit of Petunia Purple from our Art Lessons kit into that Mod Podge Matte. We're going to mix our Mod Podge and our paint until they're really well incorporated. We're going to set that aside. Here I have some warm water in a bowl. I'm going to add a tablespoon of borax to our warm water. Mix that until it's really well combined. Okay, once your borax is pretty dissolved, now we're going to add our Mod Podge and paint mixture into the warm borax water. Mix this around until it becomes one solid. Now we're going to transfer our almost slime to a styrofoam plate. Now we're going to start kneading our slime, getting some of the moisture out until it becomes really solid. I'm going to knead this for about a minute. Now for the fun part. Now we get to customize our slime. To go along with our disco ball slime, we're going to be making some mermaid tail slime. I'm going to add some of this chunky blue glitter and some of this fine purple glitter. And we're just going to knead this and fold it until it's well incorporated into our slime. With our Mod Podge slime technique, there are tons of different ways to customize your own slime for hours of fun. Next, we're going to be making some air-dried dough using Mod Podge Matte, cornstarch, baby oil, and then we're going to create some really fun jewelry pieces and decorate them with our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit. So our Mod Podge air-dried dough consists of a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 parts cornstarch, 2 parts Mod Podge Matte, and 1 part baby oil. Now we're just going to mix it all together. Okay, so once your dough is really starting to come together, I'm going to sprinkle my workspace with my cornstarch to make sure that it doesn't stick to my parchment paper. So once you've gone ahead and molded your dough into one cohesive piece, we're going to press it out into a flat sheet. To make our cookie-shaped and brownie-shaped earrings, I'm going to use regular old household objects to shape my pieces. I like to use things like a lid, a palette knife, a toothpick, whatever you have in your house that will help you make these shapes. So we are using our Mod Podge dough to make jewelry today, so don't forget to put holes in your Mod Podge dough so that you can put findings in them. We're going to put our Mod Podge dough on a drying rack or a piece of parchment paper, whatever you have at home, and I'm going to let these dry for 1 to 2 days and come back and finish them. Okay, so once your clay jewelry pieces are nice and dried out, they are ready to paint. So I'm going to use my Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit to decorate these into some really cute little brownie earrings. Now it's time to add the sprinkles. I'm going to use the back of my paintbrush to create perfect little circles to represent our sprinkles. The colors I'm going to use for that are bright yellow, petunia purple, lime tree, Caribbean, and diva pink. Okay, so once you put some hooks into your earrings, they are ready to be worn. So this project is so much fun to make different pieces of jewelry, whether it be earrings, necklaces. It's really great to get some cookie cutters out for your dough and make some ornaments or really whatever your heart desires. For our final project today, I have a really fun one for you guys. A great way to do some sensory exercises with some Mod Podge mat, sand, and our Apple Barrel Art Lessons kit. So the ratio we're looking for this craft is about a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 parts sand to 1 part Mod Podge mat. But before we add the sand, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of our Apple Barrel paint. Now we're going to add our sand. So once you've made all of your sensory sand mixtures, it's time for the fun part. To make a sensory painting, I like to use household objects like a palette knife, a plastic spoon, a popsicle stick, whatever you have on hand to spread your mixtures around. So I like to go ahead and apply some of the mixture to my canvas. My favorite part about making a sensory painting like this is that you get to see, hear, and feel the art that you're making. Once my mixtures are on there, I like to use a palette knife, but you could use a popsicle stick, whatever you have at home, to go ahead and spread the mixture across your canvas. Once the colors are on there, you can take your palette knife or your popsicle stick and start swiping in between the two colors to kind of create a subtle blend. I'm going to go ahead and make a little orange sun right above my blue ocean. Once you know the technique, now you can have a really fun and relaxing time sensory painting. So thanks for tuning in to Mod Podge Craft Camp. I hope that you and your family have hours of fun practicing these 5 techniques. Don't forget, for more project ideas and inspiration, go to plaidonline.com.